the fall of 1992, I woke up one morning and I couldn't open one eye. Now, I'd been having some very minor muscular changes, but nothing of any consequence. But that morning, I couldn't open one eye. We were living in South Florida at the time, and went to the doctor. He took one look at me and he said, "Fran, I think you have Bell's palsy." And I looked at him and I said, "No, I think I have myasthenia gravis."
What's that?
Now, Chris, I have no idea where this came from because hardly anybody even knows about this disease.
How did you know about it?
I don't know how I knew about it. My inner wisdom, whatever. So he sent me across the street to the neurologist. Neurologist gave me what's called a tinselin test. It was a shot in my arm and my eye popped open. And he confirmed that my diagnosis was right. And that began my journey of drugs. And I was told initially that myasthenia gravis is incurable. It will shorten my life, and I will always be on medication. Mm-hmm. Myasthenia gravis is a Greek name meaning severe muscle weakness or grave muscle weakness, and that's exactly what it was. Not only couldn't I keep my eyes open, my vision was so double that they couldn't even put a prism in my glasses. I had to wear what looked like window blinds. I mean, they were horrible lines. I was very weak. Sometimes I couldn't pick my head up. I had trouble swallowing. I had trouble eating. I had trouble just
your voice.
General weakness. And I tried everything. I took vitamins, different supplements. I tried walking every morning when I was a little stronger. But I never could get really better. Now, it was really strange because here we are in South Florida with millions of people in the 3 counties, never met another myasthenic.
Wow.
In 2004, we moved to a small town in Western North Carolina. And the first week that we're here, Bob notices in the newspaper that the local hospital has a myasthenia gravis support group that meets every month. So we started going to those meetings.
Now, let me ask you this, just to interrupt. Were you taking some medications at this time?
Oh, I was taking prednisone.
For 16 years?
Yeah, I took low-dose prednisone for 16 years. I was on Mestinon every 4 hours around the clock. One doctor even put me on a cancer drug called Cytoxan,
wow.
which is, and I was drinking a gallon of water every day by noon so that it wouldn't poison me.
Right.
And he told me, he says, I have a 100% success record with this drug, that it will put you into remission. Unfortunately, I broke his record because it didn't do me any good.
Let me ask you, did all of these drugs start with your diagnosis?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
So you weren't taking any medications up to that point?
No.
Okay.
I wanted to say that over the course of years, Fran saw, and I was with her, 11 different neurologists. They all said the same thing, that she would have a short life, she'd always be on meds, and never gave her any hope.
Nothing ever mentioned about diet.
And never said a word about what you eat, ever.
So here we are in Western North Carolina. We started going to the support group. And Chris, I saw some really sick people. Because one thing that I noticed is everybody had more than one disease. Now, because I was doing my best to keep myself healthy, I fortunately didn't develop any other diseases, but they had heart disease, they had diabetes, they had cancer, and I learned really nothing. As a matter of fact, they were even serving chips and cookies and soft drinks at the meetings. But 1 month, they had a clinical nutritionist from Asheville come to the meeting. Now, I had never, like I said, I never heard anything about diet being related, okay? he comes in and he explains, here we're eating white meat, chicken and turkey and fish, thinking we're really eating healthy, boring, but healthy. He explained that even with something as harmless as white meat chicken, it compromises the immune system. And he recommended getting off all animal products. He recommended reading The China Study by T. Colin Campbell and Diet for a New America by John Robbins.
Great books.
Chris, I was the only one in the group who took his advice, and I got both books, read them cover to cover, and changed my diet at once. Now, a year or so later, the people who I had become friends with in the group had all passed away, not from myasthenia, but from heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, where I was getting better. My only problem was every time I tried to get off the prednisone, I felt really sick. I felt like the myasthenia was getting worse. So I had the good fortune of going to visit my son in California, and he took me to a friend of his who was the first plant-based doctor in Southern California. And he explained to me that my adrenals had shut down with all that prednisone. First, he had to build up my adrenals very slowly over a period of months. And then he took me off the prednisone 1 milligram at a time, very slowly. And in a matter of a short period of time, I was totally symptom-free, no medication. And it's now almost 16 years later, and my incurable disease has gone. And I've outlived 4 of my doctors.
That's amazing. Now, how long was this timeline from start to finish of when you said, okay, I'm adopting this plant-based diet until you were, off all medications?
It was several weeks, because I think it was a couple of months, because the prednisone had to get out of my system.
But that's a pretty short time, just a few months.
Maybe 3 months, whatever. But the point is, I never went back on any medications. I even get threatening phone calls from my insurance company saying, you must not be taking care of yourself because you are not going to the doctor every couple of weeks and you are not taking any prescription drugs. They wanted to send a visiting nurse out to the house to examine me, and they would give me a $25 gift card to Walmart. I said, no, thank you.
There, I just want to add that if you are on that plant-based journey, stick to it. If you have fallen off the wagon, get back on. And if you haven't tried it, and you're thinking about it, and you keep procrastinating about it, get on it as fast as you can. It will be the smartest darn thing you have ever done in your life. You will live, here we are. Fran was supposed to be dead 2 decades ago. And here we are enjoying the third of our lives better than any time in our lives. So it doesn't matter what age you are, but we are just so happy with it, and we advocate for it.